Alright, what's going on everyone? As you've seen, we've been having a lot of fun. We finally got the Vette taken apart, ready for the new clutch. And new clutch is in. So that's very exciting. However, there are some steps that we have to do first. And that's what I wanted to make a video on today. So there's a couple of things that we have to do in preparation for that. And part of that is understanding what's going on with the slave cylinder. So as you can see, I got a new one. Now for my old one, I actually propped for the billet upgrade for this. Now, don't necessarily have to do this, but I do recommend this. I've actually seen this piece, the stock one, it's made out of plastic, and I've seen it melted before. Now there's two reasons for that, and we'll get to that in a second. So let's start today by understanding what this looks like, what goes in here, and how to properly assemble the new one. There's some really good instructions on Monster that help with that, but I thought I would at least give a quick tutorial showing you guys what's involved with it and some tricks for getting this set up right before assembling it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I showed you what was going on with the new one. Let's take a look at my old one, just to kind of use this one as a point of reference, because I truly don't want to mess up anything new that I just received that I'm going to be using on the car. So let's look over here. I actually put this one back together, and what this one has is the new insert from Monster, and it's pretty simple. You can see this one's pretty dirty coming out of the car and whatnot. It's got the speed bleeder already attached to it, and that'll be part of the next part. But this piece here, this just pops right off. Very simple, comes off, not a big deal. So as you can see in here, if you push down, this is where the bearing sits. And this is the plastic stock one that comes here. So let me go ahead and just get this set up real quick so you can see this a little bit more clear. As Alright. So something I want to focus on is when you actually slide this down, you hold the bearing in place, you see that the bearing will pop out. So if you twist it just enough, this is the actual bearing that I was talking about. So this stock one is plastic. I've actually had that melt before in one of my previous clutches, so it actually gets very hot in there. So what I recommend doing is just pushing down on this and holding it in place, and there's a little tab here that keeps this everything in place from popping out. Okay, so it's recommended just to take a little flathead screwdriver or something, and that way we can pry it off. So I'm going to start just kind of trying to pop that off. You'll hear a little pop like that. You do it on both sides, and now all of this is out. Okay, for reassembly, all I do is recommend putting it in place and grabbing a small hammer or something just to ensure that all of it goes back into place properly. Okay, before you do this, there's a couple of things I recommend. Let's see. And boom. That's a quick version of assembling this. Okay, so now let's go look at the new one that I'm going to be assembling, and I'll give you some tips on that. Alright, so we saw what's going on with the old one. This is the new one that I have on here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. We have a new cover with the spring inside of there, which is great. I took off the old bearing and put it on I took off the new bearing and put it on the old one. So this is the new one that we are going to use. This is one of their billet ones that they actually make, which is fantastic. I've used it on the new clutch, and now that I'm cleaning it off, there's no damage to it, nothing like that that's really causing any concern or anything like that. However, they do recommend that we put some grease in here to ensure that that there's no wear on this, okay? And the way this actually sits is this sits right in here just like that, okay? Before I do that though, I'm gonna make sure that everything's nice and clean. No dirt or anything like that on there. That's the last thing we need, is for contamination to go and mess up a brand new one. Which is weird because it sounds like there's some stuff on there, so let's give that a good cleaning real quick. That'll be good enough. All right. So to do so, I actually pulled up or went and got some of this super lube. This one actually has a much higher benefit in terms of the temperature range. It goes up to 450 F. So that 450 F is actually perfect for this because a lot of heat is transferred through this. So we'll go ahead and coat it really well with this and ensure that both here and there are coated. Some of that might get inside of there, which is okay, which is inside of here, not in here. All right. So let's go ahead and put that there. Let's coat some of this real quick. There's nothing wrong with being just a tad bit generous with some of this, so just so I have some left over. Might as well coat the inside of this, right? Make sure that that initial fit of them is very well. All right. So I'm just gonna put it back together the way it all came apart. All right, so I got the new one. As you can see, you got to be careful with these because obviously they're very delicate and can break very easily. So let's hope that this one doesn't fail on us. If we do, we at least know where the culprit is. So I got the new one right here. What's interesting is that there's like this little, I don't know if it's the edge or not, but it seems like there was an issue with this one from the factory. It's all right, we'll install it. We'll make sure that it all fits together really well, which right now it's all been good. Like there really hasn't been anything that would make me question their products. Monster's always been good, especially in terms of their customer service. It's been phenomenal at this point. Boom. Done. So that is how you do the billet upgrade on Monster slave cylinders. Well, that's it. Looks like we're able to wrap this one up pretty quick. This took me about 50 minutes total. So now we're just ready to go bolt this on to the torque tube. Fairly easy task, but I thought I would just show a lot of the tips that I came up with. I was able to do this in my office. Typically I'm doing this in the garage, but if you want to see more stuff like this, you know, hit that subscribe button below, comment and like, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find out if there's a need for any of this type of instruction. There's a lot of it online, but some of it could be somewhat foggy because they're trying to make it as general as possible. Let me know and I'd be willing to try and help clarify some of that if needed. All right, so stay tuned. We should have some more fun stuff coming up and hope you enjoyed the video. All right, thanks.